So, who would you rather serve, love or fear? Now, you may just be saying, well, of course, love. I always want to do things in love. But that is not always the case. It's a lot more of a slippery slope when we start to really think about it. So, welcome. My name's Arden, and I like to do these weekly little transmissions, energetic updates, whatever they might be. And I wanted to tie into a transmission I gave on Sunday from the four angels that relate to what is occurring right now and partaking of the energy that is occurring, that is specifically solar energy that is happening through tomorrow. So one of the things that they transmitted, which I'll share with you here, is that we're starting to understand a little bit that we have these blind spots, and that not only are we deceiving ourselves, we are deceiving others by telling half-lies, by not being truthful to what we really mean. And a lot of that comes from fear. So when you think about, oh, well, what do I want to serve? I want to serve love, not fear. The problem is that when you give half-lives or half-truths, it's based in fear. So the thing is that we intuitively know when something isn't right, correct? And a lot of the times we ignore it. So let's say, for example, that you have an idea that something is going on, that something's just not right, yet you signed the contract anyways, or you decide, oh, I'm not going to pay attention to this bill. I really don't want to look at it because I'm afraid to see the truth. I'm afraid to know. And the thing is, as soon as you shine a light on what it is to be known, it's not so scary after all. It's like, okay, now I can move. But I think a lot of the times we're afraid of change, yet every day is different. Everything changes. Even your hair color changes. Everything changes. And so to be afraid of change is one of those things where we fall into it. And so we're afraid of then looking at our truth and looking at the truth that's presented to us. And it happens like that. It happens in an instant when we just we know something like, not feeling good about that. And yet we ignore it because we don't want to face it. Somebody may say something, we're like, did they just say what I think they said? And it's kind of like, should I have addressed that? What the heck? And then you might talk with a friend like, I think something's wrong there. And you should have said something, right? And you've lost your moment of integrity. This brings me back to the teachings, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. And in this, there are two lines that are super key. So Mary has now seen a vision of Jesus after he has resurrected. And she says to him, Lord, I see you now in this vision. And do you know what he says back to her? He says, you are blessed, for the sight of me does not disturb you. That is super profound, because when so many of us are afraid that we're not seeing things correctly, we're not hearing things correctly, not only in this world, but when we work with spirit, when we meditate, when we pray, when we get messages from spirit, we doubt. And that doubt is the fear. And so to be confident in knowing and stand in integrity, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I believe I have another way of sensing. I believe I have intuition. I know I do. We all do. And so when you get there, then that's really important, because it's almost like this is what Mary was an example for us for. This is why she was the first apostle. This is why she was a gifted seer and visionary, because she wasn't afraid. She wasn't afraid of her sight, what her sight was telling her. So this is really important. So I have some notes here. I want to make sure that I'm covering everything that I wanted to say, because a lot of the times we get so afraid. I hear from so many of you oh, I don't trust myself. And it's like, you've got to trust yourself. You've got to trust spirit and you've got to trust yourself. And we know that, yet when the rubber hits the road, we like get afraid and we like tell a half truth or we step away from it because we're scared. And the thing is we're not standing in integrity. And the whole point of what is occurring for us, moving, we are in the Aquarian age. We're working with our higher hearts now, and that requires us to authentically communicate the truth and be in integrity with it. So everyone has the ability to see. You have intuition, and it's really facing love, accepting love, because really, do you desire love or do you desire fear? Because your choices will always tell you what you desire. And so if you find yourself like, oh, I just kind of told a little white lie, I was afraid to like tell them the truth, or I wasn't sure I heard it right, or you're doubting yourself, or I don't think I saw that correctly when you're working with spirit, all of those little white lies that you tell yourself are not within integrity. And it tells you that you're desiring fear, not love. So that's the first key. Start focusing on your desire for love. Very, very important. One of the things that I wanted to say is that integrity is not easy. And so it can make it really difficult. And Martha Beck wrote a great book that came out last year called The Way of Integrity. And I just want to read something that she said, because she kind of brings it down to earth here a little bit. Anything that you do solely to influence others rather than to express your true nature is a hustle. Being polite to get approval is a hustle. Don't hustle. And another thing she said, which I think is really amazing, recognizing that living our truth makes things better for everyone can give us the courage to make big decisions that move us toward integrity. So it's almost like be blatantly truthful, and it doesn't have to be. The thing is, I think we think that the truth hurts, and we get to that point, and we can't be afraid of that, because when we are truthful, then people are not afraid. They see us. And as like Martha said, it gives everyone the courage to also do the same. And that goes to the point of, you and I are not here to convince anyone of anything. That convincing energy is based in fear. So speak calmly and clearly for what your true experience is like, just like Mary did. And another thing, with the Gospel of Mary, the translated version that I've read that I love, there are many. There's one by Karen King, and there's one by Jean, why am I spacing on his name? Jean-Yves Leloup. And I like what Leloup says in his book, that what is the source of this frantic need to believe oneself innocent? The alternative is simply a bit more lucidity, courage, and awareness, knowledge of our ability to respond, and our own responsibility for our acts, words, desires, and life. This is really important. We just need the courage to speak the truth and to not hide behind things, and to ask questions and be curious when we're not sure we're hearing the right things. If you're confused, ask. So that's how we stay in integrity. And that's really what we're choosing when we do that. We're choosing love. And that's where we need to be as we move forward. So that's the message. That's what I've been thinking. If you want to hear the actual transmission, then you're welcome to sign up. There's a $22 fee for it, and it's only available until Friday. Okay, see you soon next week. Bye-bye.